Nice to see you both. How you been?
Pretty good.
Really? Great.
Yeah, let's just start with
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Very simple.
How have you been?
I've been well. Your husband, Kristen, the wonderful Dax Shepherd, posted this video of you. Love Dax. Shout out to Dax. Let's see if you know what this video is about, and then you can tell us what you remember about this video.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna kind of suck, but I have no other option. I didn't realize my screen record didn't do audio, so I'm gonna walk you through what happened. Kristen called me from the dermatologist to tell me that she is on a nitrous called Pronox. Yep. And she said, we call it the Nox. And I say, are you happy? Did it make you feel happy?
Do you remember any of that?
I remember a little bit of it because it's like I was getting like a micro needling facial, right? And so because there's like little needles, it hurts. And so they're like, suck on this gas like they do at the dentist. And first of all, it's a delight.
Yeah.
Okay, an absolute delight. But then once they take it away, you have this kind of come down, and I was just like overwhelmed with how much I love my husband and life and all the emotions. And he likes to say that I have a scale. If I'm not between a 3 and a 7, I'm crying. So if I'm too sad, I'm crying, and if I'm too happy, I'm crying. And I guess I must have had my phone and I FaceTimed him, and
was that too happy or was that too sad?
that was too happy. That was like, the world is at our fingertips, where this is so great. I got this facial. I'm gonna look great in 2 days. This is wonderful. And he videotaped it. Yeah. And I would expect nothing less.
Because that's what love is, recording each other when we're at our most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of drugs, talk to us a little bit about the musical Reefer Madness.
Yes, well, I did that show, Reefer Madness, in 2001 here in New York City. It changed my life. That whole cast and crew convinced me to move to Los Angeles. So it holds a very special place in my heart because I wouldn't have my career or my husband or my kids. And the whole show, it's a satirical musical based on the 1936 propaganda film about marijuana, but it's not really about marijuana, it's about misinformation. So we kind of thought it was appropriate to bring back now, and we've been running it in LA, and it's been great.
Well, I think what's beautiful about that, now that's what you clap for. And I think what's beautiful about it is because the play talks about the previous conceptions of marijuana versus what it is now and the medicinal properties of it, which is why I think that, you have your play, and I know it's kind of rude of me to solicit a script to you on the show, but in case you're looking for a sequel to Reefer Madness, this is called Shroom Madness, Even More Matter. Now, I'll give it to you a little later.
Okay.
I'm not even sure if I should be talking about this on the show. Kelly, I apologize for saying shroom on your show. I apologize about that. Let's do some commercials. We've got New York's Rabbi Iggy helping us out.
Hi, Kristen, Adam, and Roy. Like Adam's character in Nobody Wants This, I'm not your stereotypical rabbi. Even though I grew up Orthodox, just ask my late dad. When he came to my Reform temple for my son's bar mitzvah, I asked him, what do you think about the service? He took a moment, then he said, it was interesting, like Shabbat, the musical. Stay here, Roy has more with Kristen and Adam after this.
Welcome back to the Kelly Clarkson Show. I'm your host for the day, Roy Wood Jr. Kristen Bell and Adam Brody are here. And that was a look at their new Netflix series, Nobody Wants This. Kristen, please break down this series for us, because we're talking about an odd couple.
You're better, come on.
I'm not better. But I'll do it because she's been, not because I'm better, because she's done it so much, and I'm getting off easy. It's about a podcaster, a podcaster that deals with sex a lot, a very free-spirited podcaster who
provocative, agnostic.
Yes, who falls in love with the rabbi, a modern, hip, but nonetheless deeply spiritual and committed rabbi.
A rabbi falls in love with a woman who does a podcast about sex and free love.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's about the cultures sort of like clashing a little bit. Like, does the world even want them to be together? Should they disregard this chemistry? And
they have familial and also professional reasons to not be together, but they would like to. And then at the same time, ultimately, they'll have to reckon internally if that's, because they'll also have their own internal contradictions that they will have to reconcile or not.
I think that's a lot of what love is, though, is just figuring out what you're willing to concede in exchange for how this person makes you feel. And then you start questioning your own internal moralities and things of that nature. Now, the title podcast is also called Nobody Wants This, the character within the show.
yes,
right?
yes. She hosts a show called Nobody Wants This. And she is very provocative and lives out loud. And when she meets a man that doesn't, but has this wonderful connection with him, it's really, it's an exploration, and it's very, very grounded. It's not like, I guess, some other rom-coms where you see where it's like goofier. It's very grounded, but it's an exploration into how to be with someone you want to be with without losing yourself.
How do you, though, when we talk about playing a rabbi and the idea of how religion has evolved and the way we present, pastors and things of that nature within our media, right?
Yeah, yeah.
How did you get into that confliction within that character?
Yeah. Well, the first part was easy. He's modern, lives in LA, but at the same time, he's deeply, deeply spiritual. He's deeply faithful and thoughtful about his religion, and that was the part for me to lean into and learn about, because the other stuff's easy, and that was the part that was going to be a fun and an adventure and a stretch.
For research purposes, did you go around to any rabbis and just go, "Hey, what podcast do you listen to?"
I did not. But that was an oversight on my part. But I did listen to rabbi podcasts.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Nice. Now, the show gets into the question of, what do you do when love falls outside the deal breakers you think you had for yourself? Have you all ever had any deal breakers in a relationship? Because I know for me, you discover deal breakers sometimes. The same way you discover things that you're willing to concede, like religion or free thought. I dated a woman once who there was a TV in her room, and she always went to bed with the TV on. And I didn't think that was a deal breaker until she went to bed every night watching the murder docs. And I'm like, I can't. Because you wake up thinking murder, because it's Bill Curtis voiceover in your head, investigative reports.
Right.
Was it on all night?
Yeah, you wake up and it's just investigation discovery. And I'm like, no, go back to sleep.
It's wild.
Wow.
That's why men watch sports before we go to bed, because it's happy. Have y'all run into any deal breakers? What do you watch at night?
What do we watch at night?
We talk a lot about what TV we watch, Adam and I.
My
Not
wife
together.
wants to watch something comedic and light, and I would want to watch something invariably hyper-violent or dark, and so we kind of try to meet in the middle, and it'll be some sort of non-murder docuseries normally. What about you?
We can't find an episode of Dateline we haven't seen.
Yeah.
Truly and completely, there's not an episode out there that my husband and I haven't seen. We love Dateline, we love Jeopardy. We'll go back and forth. We watch everything. We'll go back and forth, something lighthearted, something really dark.
I will just scroll and enjoy it happily the whole time. I'll go to every streamer and watch every trailer, and she's like, what are you doing? But I am just as happy watching every trailer. I don't need to watch
Just the moving pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrific for me.
I like trailers better than movies, and I like movie posters better than trailers. I know. It's weird.
I did not know that.
I'm with that. Let's do a very quick commercial break. All episodes of Nobody Wants This are streaming now on Netflix. We've got a game that brings us closer to God next. We'll be playing it with Kristen and Adam when we return. We'll be right back. It's time now to have our faith tested here as well. This is another round of Playing Dice with God.
Playing dice with God.
All right. Of course, to play dice with God, we need God. God, is God here?
Well, yes, I am. I'm right here. Hey, Roy. Hey, Kristen. Hey, Adam. How y'all doing?
Great to meet you.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how this game works.
Okay.
You're going to take turns rolling that die right in front of you there. I'm going to ask you a question from whatever category on which it lands.
Okay.
You get the question right, you get a point. If the die lands on personal, I'm going to ask you a question from your lives, and you have to tell the truth for a point. I'll know if you don't because, well, you guessed it, God don't play. So I will award points at my discretion, and don't go questioning how many points I give, because it's all part of my plan.
Okay.
Okay, well, Roy, I guess you're up first. Roll them die. Let's see what happens here.
See, we got a bunch of different sides here. Movie, music, books, random. Let's hope for.
Okay, we're going to have some fun right out of the gate. It's personal. Ooh, I love this already. Okay, Roy, let's see. What was one time you were scared to try something, but ended up loving it?
Scared to try something but loved it. Skydiving. Skydiving.
That is correct.
I've gone
that
twice.
actually is true.
I won't do it a third time, but I've done it twice. It was a good time.
That is true. You ain't lying. That is true. I remember that too. Your face was crazy when you did that. That was really funny.
Yeah, I remember.
Had to clean your pants after that. Okay, hey, Kristen.
Is that me?
It's your turn to roll the die.
Oy.
Don't be afraid. Here you go.
Movie.
Oh, yeah, okay, great. Well, he'll know. Or they'll know.
Which Godfather movie was the best Godfather movie, and why?
Was a what? The best Godfather movie? Oh, why?
Which Godfather movie was the best Godfather movie and why?
I don't know.
Now, I know you see this, God.
Yeah, I see what's going on over there, and I don't care for it, okay? I asked Kristen the question. Not you, Adam, so butt out, all right?
When someone's in need, you know, what do you do?
Amen, amen, amen. You know what?
Sorry.
You're right. I'll give you that.
I will go with number 2.
It is number 2, you're right. That is correct. Go ahead, Adam. Roll the die.
Movie.
We got here.
Movie.
Landed on movies again. Okay, here we go. In which movie did Meryl Streep say, "By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me"?
Oh, that's got to be Devil Wears Prada, right?
It is The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay. All right, come on. Nothing.
See why I asked?
Devil Wears Prada, but the Lord wears Versace. Okay. Come on now. What do we got here?
Random.
Okay, here we go. All right. Tell you what, name 2 of the 5 Great Lakes. There's 5 Great Lakes, just name 2 of them.
Erie, Michigan. Okay.
That's it.
Superior, Huron, Ontario.
Those are the only 2 I know, is Erie and Michigan.
I grew up on the Great Lakes. Music.
All right, let's take a look here now. Who was the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Joni.
Yeah, Adam, keep quiet over there. No help this time.
All right.
Joni Mitchell? Dolly
It is
Parton?
not Joni Mitchell. No, I'm sorry. We were looking for Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin.
Books.
All right, Adam, and this is the last question. That's the sound. Final question. This is very serious now. Here is the question. A certain Dan Brown book was named after a famous artist and Ninja Turtle. What was the famous name in that book?
Da Vinci Code. The famous.
It is the Da Vinci Code.
Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah, okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was going to guess Michelangelo.
You know what? I like that answer too. I'm going to give you a point, Roy, just because I can.
Well, that's all right.
And that makes you the winner of Playing with God.
I appreciate that.
appreciate you.
Thank you, voice of God. I'm going to tithe 20% next week at church. Everybody, be sure to watch Nobody Wants This, starring Kristen Bell and Adam Brody. It's on Netflix now, and Kristen's show, Reefer Madness, the musical, is playing now through October 6th at the Whitley Theater in Los Angeles.
Thank you guys so much.